Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. As you can tell from the title of this video, I finally have a dupe for the Urban Decay Born to Run palette here today. Now, if you're having a deja vu moment, that's not a coincidence. I had this video up previously. I wasn't happy with the quality of it because the colors just weren't right, so you couldn't see exactly how the shades performed and looked. So I decided to delete it, and here we are. I upload again a new version of it, hopefully an improved version. So obviously this is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette that we are talking about. Beautiful shades, for me personally really inspiring, because you don't really have a lot of neutral colors, but you basically have a beautiful spectrum of shades, almost an endless number of looks that you can create using these shades. And obviously I used this palette on one of my eyes today, but on the other eye I use this palette. Now if you're thinking, what the hell, you just showed us the same palette. No, this one is the Belonging palette from Ucanbe, and this is far the best dupe I have ever seen. It is basically not even a dupe, it's the same thing. I have the Born to Run palette on the top, the Ucanbe palette on the bottom. We are basically dealing with the same thing, and I'm not just talking about the look of the shades, the color payoff, the pigmentation, the feel to it. I would even say that the Belonging palette is a little bit softer and creamier. Some of the colors, for example, Still Shot and Hell Ride, are quite dry in the Urban Decay palette, and they are really nice and velvety in the Belonging palette. Obviously the Urban Decay palette has this beautiful packaging with all of these different places around the world, and I'm gonna be honest, this was one of the reasons I wanted to get this palette, because I just think that that's so gorgeous and I love traveling. So I was really happy to pick up a palette that I can take with me anywhere around the world, and I will be able to create whatever look I want, or whatever look will look nice with my outfit. Normally when I travel and I take only one eyeshadow palette, I really struggle, because the looks you can create using one palette only is normally quite limited, but this palette is really something special because it gives me the freedom to create whatever I want. Now, just like all other Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes, it's quite pricey. It's £42, but you do get 21 shades in the palette, which is quite big. There are 7 shades in each row, and there are 0.8 grams of product in each pan. And also this palette has 24 months shelf life, which is quite good. The Urban Decay palette is made in the USA and assembled in the Dominican Republic, whilst the Belonging palette is made in the People's Republic of China. However, despite that, it is vegan and cruelty free, and actually the pans in the Belonging palette contain 1.2 grams of product each, meaning that you get 1.5 times more product overall in the Belonging palette. And of course, the other thing to mention is the price of these palettes. The original Born to Run palette retails for £42, whilst the Belonging palette is available on AliExpress or Amazon or eBay for around £6 or £7, making it about 6 or 7 times cheaper. So it really is a fraction of the price. And obviously the other eye was completed using the Belonging palette. As you will see in the video later on, I had no issue achieving the same color payoff. So these two palettes are literally the same thing. You can save a lot of money by picking up the belonging palette. Obviously this video is not sponsored by neither Urban Decay nor Ucanbe. I'm just telling you the honest truth. The thing is, I picked up the Born to Run palette when I visited the USA. I was really excited and happy to have this palette, and I still am. I still think it's a really, really nice palette, but I just cannot shake off the feeling that I wasted my money purchasing that one instead of the belonging palette, because I can literally achieve the same makeup look. So why would I spend that extra £35 for nothing? I'm gonna now go on and show you some swatches on the side of the screen. As you can see, the color payoff is literally the same. I had to swatch some of the shades multiple times on both palettes to get the right payoff, but I didn't have to swatch the Ucanbe shades more times at all. I feel like I got the same color payoff. So I just want to quickly mention one more thing about these palettes. Obviously the shades are named in both palettes. So this is the belonging one. The first row of the shades is exactly the same as the Born to Run palette. In the second row, the first two shades are still the same, then Accelerate and Ignite are switched around without adjusting the names. All the other shades have the original name even if they are swatched over with another one, meaning, for example, Big Sky and Radio were swatched over, but they kept their own name. Radio is still called Radio and Big Sky is still called Big Sky. So the only shades that don't have their own name in the belonging palette is Accelerate and Ignite. Everything else keeps their own name even if they are in a different position in the palette. I think this makes it even easier for us consumers to find the right shade, and once you get this palette you can go on YouTube and Google any tutorial of the Born to Run palette and you can very easily follow them using the belonging palette. I had quite a few tutorials here on my channel in the past using the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. So the reason I decided to create this look is because I didn't want to exactly go on and recreate any of the looks I have done in the past. I did do a look that was similar where I used this shade of blue and some Bordeaux on the crease, but I feel like this one is still slightly different than that one. I can really recommend the shades Wanderlust and Smog. I think they are beautiful as well. I love Radio. I really love Drift. I have done a look on that in the past, and I do still want to keep uploading videos using this palette. It's probably gonna be in the future in one of my one palette 3 looks videos, because I really enjoy being more creative in those videos. So yeah, I'm gonna keep using this one, but the only reason I'm gonna keep using this one and not the belonging one is because this one is what most people will search for. But like I said, you can go and purchase the belonging palette and achieve the exact same looks using it. So now without further ado, I'm gonna jump into the tutorial and show you how I created these. Okay, so the look we create today might not be anything special. It's probably something you saw even myself doing before, because I have done quite a few tutorials using the Born to Run palette already. If you haven't seen them yet, I'm gonna link them throughout this video. In today's video, I wanna create something using the Bordeaux shades mixed with a little bit of the blue, because I think that's something special to this palette. You normally have the blue as a pop of color in a neutral eyeshadow palette, but in this case, obviously you have loads of colors to choose from and there are plenty of options to have a pop of color. So I'm gonna be focusing on these two colors and this color in today's look. But before we start creating the eye makeup, I'm gonna put down some of my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly. And to set that, I'm gonna use the shade Weekender. And I basically just apply this all over the lid. In the belonging palette, this shade is also called a Weekender. In the first row, every single shade is in the same position and having the same name as the original palette. Now to start darkening up this look, I'm gonna take the shade Rift and add it to the crease. And like I said, in the belonging palette, the first row is exactly the same. So again, I'm gonna take Riff now on this side of the face and add it to the crease. And now very slowly, we're gonna start darkening up this look using the shade Hellride. We're gonna be using this shade quite a lot, but only start with a small amount and build it up. Now I'm gonna start building it up on the other side as well, once again taking Hellride. And now I take a smaller brush and again I dip it into Hellride, and now I'm gonna apply Hellride just on the outer half of the lid. I'm just tapping it on at this point. This is a quite dark color, but thanks God there's not too much fallout on either side. And now I'm gonna do the same thing on the belonging side, again taking Hellride on a smaller brush. Now I'm gonna take the same brush again, dip it into Hellride, and we're gonna go through the crease one more time. Same thing on the belonging side. So as you can see, I brought up this dark shade quite high. So now we're gonna take the original brush again and dip it into Weekender and blend out the edges of this. And the same thing on the belonging side. Now I take the smaller brush again, dip it into Hellride and add the shade under my eyes, but not in the inner third of the eye. So we're just gonna add it to the outer 2/3 and connecting it to the lid. Again taking the smaller brush on the belonging side, dipping it into Hellride and applying the shade to the outer 2/3 of the eye. Now I'm gonna put down the shade Big Sky using my finger on the lid, and I'm only gonna apply it in this area that we left empty before. And do the same thing on the belonging side. As you can see here, the shade is switched around with radio. And I'm gonna take a small pencil brush and dip it into the shade Jet. And basically we're gonna use Jet to darken up this outer V. And again do the same thing on the belonging side. And now I'm gonna take the shade White Heart again with my finger and place it in the area between Big Sky and Jet. And now the same thing on the belonging side. Now I'm gonna take a teeny tiny brush, dip it into Big Sky and add it to that inner 1/3 that we left empty. Same thing on the belonging side. Okay, now it's time to add some eyeliner. Okay, so this looks quite dark so far, so now I'm gonna try to brighten it up a little. I'm gonna use this Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil on my waterline. And I'm gonna use the white version of it in my inner corner and under my eyebrows using this really tiny brush. And now I'm gonna go on and add some mascara. So that's the finished look. I don't know what you guys think, but I think they look super similar, and like I said, the belonging palette is so much more affordable. I actually cannot believe that they were able to make exactly the same shades, exactly the same pigmentation, the same finish. It's absolutely amazing, and I think it just goes to show how overpriced some of the high-end makeup products are, because literally there was this small Chinese brand that was able to make the exact same thing for a fraction of the price and still make profit. I think this is really sending a message to all of the high-end brands that they need to either step up their game or lower their price. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I would love to have you here. And until next time, take care of yourself. I see you soon.